But next on the docket here, let's kick it on down to Columbia, where the Gamecocks, a little over a week away from their spring game. And, man, Shane Beamer, he's a good coach and a great recruiter, but he may be an even better cheerleader. I mean, this guy knows how to rally this fan base, and make no mistake, some people roll their eyes at that stuff. You cannot win at an elite level in college football unless you can get everybody in that fan base, in that building, in that whole department pulling in the right direction. Shane Beamer's managed to do that from day one. And I just thought this was pretty wild, him coming out here. And this is not the first time he's done it, and the fans have responded each time when he's challenged them to come out and support the team. And he does it once again here for the upcoming spring game, which should be one of the more interesting ones in the SEC this season.
And I know our guys are excited about a great environment in Williams-Brice Stadium next Saturday night, and can't wait to see Gamecock Nation there for it. I can remember my first year at Georgia. Coach Kirby Smart challenged the Georgia Bulldogs to come out and support that group in year one, and they packed it out and had a sold-out Sanford Stadium. And what an amazing experience that was for so many people that were there that day, and especially a lot of the recruits that were there that day that led to what you see that program is doing right now. So every day matters. Every opportunity to be in Williams-Brice Stadium matters, and we need Gamecock Nation to show out next Saturday night.
But, of course, that's not all Shane Beamer had to offer up during his latest media availability. They just had their first scrimmage of the spring down there in Columbia. And who's the guy that everybody wants to know about? Spencer Rattler. How's he looking as he transitions to Marcus Satterfield's system? They're trying to surround this guy with all kinds of talent. I just did the Locked On Gamecocks podcast with Keith Allsap. If you're a fan of them, go check that out. Outstanding stuff from Keith as always, but he's got me convinced on all the weapons that they are racking up there in Columbia to surround Spencer Rattler with. How's the transition going to Marcus Satterfield offense? Here's Shane Beamer.
With the offense out there.
Yeah, Spencer was good. It was good to see him because for the first time he was in a scrimmage setting where we're signaling in plays and he's having to communicate in the huddle and the coaches aren't out there and there's SEC officials all around him. And I thought he was great. He didn't look like a guy that was lost out there by any stretch of the imagination. Certainly there's some plays he would like to have back. There's no doubt about it. We've got to continue to make sure that the guys that he's throwing to are making plays, for him as well. But I thought he did a good job of commanding the offense and operating, and we all saw the areas, players and coaches, where we have to be better at, and it was a good learning experience for all of us on scrimmage number one.
And then last little nugget here that I picked up on, I thought this was pretty interesting. A player ready to emerge, one guy that redshirt freshman here, defensive lineman TJ Sanders, someone that really caught Shane Beamer's eye last season. The Gamecocks pretty loaded on that defensive line last season, so TJ started the year on scout team. Now he's going to have to step up and play a factor, I would think, for the Gamecocks and hopefully shore up that run defense this season. Shane Beamer, very high on Mr. TJ Sanders, the young defensive lineman down there in Columbia.
TJ Sanders has gotten a lot of praise from a lot of coaches and players through this, spring ball. What have you seen from him in terms of growth from the time he got here to what you're seeing now?
Yeah, I've been buying stock in TJ since mid-October of last year because I saw what he did on the scout team all last season to the point where late in the year, those defensive coaches will tell you, I'm like, y'all need to just make sure you go back and watch what TJ Sanders is doing in practice because he's a guy that continues to get better. And he was in practice. He was a bear for our offensive line to try and block in practice. Last year, he and Jakeem Green were our two scout team defensive tackles in practice. So it was great for our offensive line because they're going against those two guys each day. But it was great for, you talked about TJ specifically because he really worked to get better last year. He's had a good winter in the weight room, and he's a guy that continues to impress. I think I know he had a really good day, last Saturday, and we're trying to find more and more ways to give him opportunities. And he's a great athlete. He'll tell you what a great basketball player he is if you ask him, but he's a really good athlete, and he's twitchy, he's disruptive and strong, and he just loves to compete. He's a guy that he's got great energy out there on the practice field when he's out there.